In this video, I've done something stupid again. So a few months ago, I brought you the news that Citroen were considering bringing their little Ami, the microcar that is their vision of urban mobility for the future, to the UK. But in order to do so, they needed to see enough interest from people. Otherwise, it wasn't really going to be worth their time. Now, if you need a reminder, the Ami is a little left-hand drive microcar with a top speed of 28 miles per hour. Limited as such so that it can be driven from the age of 14 without a driving licence in France. And it looks like if they're going to bring it over here, they're just going to do it wholesale. They're not going to make any real changes to it, apart from any sort of bare minimum they might need to do for it to comply with UK regulations. They're not going to be increasing that speed limit, and they're not going to be converting it to right-hand drive. But the good news I have for you today is Citroen UK have confirmed that they will be bringing that car to the UK. More than 12,000 people filled out the form on the website expressing their interest and saying they'd be interested in buying one. Citroen UK have taken action, and it is expected to land on these shores in 2022. And even better than that, if you are one of those 12,000 plus people that expressed an interest, you can now reserve one. You can place a refundable reservation deposit and you can get your place in the queue for one. And I can confirm that I have done that. Hopefully, all being well, I will be one of the many people buying a Citroen Ami in 2022 when they come over. I put in that deposit pretty much as soon as I received the email today saying I was eligible to, so I think I'll be quite close to the top of the queue, hopefully. And I always said if they were going to bring them over, that I was definitely going to buy one. And so I have placed the deposit. Pricing has not been confirmed yet, but obviously using the European pricing as a guide, it's expected to cost in the region of £5,000 to £6,000 when it lands here. I'm hopeful it's not going to be loads more than that because it'll be difficult to justify, but as long as we're in that kind of price range, then I will definitely be going for it. My nearest Citroen dealer is 15 miles away, and that is 15 miles of mostly 50 and 60 miles per hour A roads. It should be quite an interesting collection journey. If it does all happen, then that's where I need to pick it up from. I think in France, though, when you order one, they just deliver it to you. So maybe that will be the situation here. But when I placed the deposit, I had to select my nearest Citroen dealer, and I've done that. So certainly if they're expecting me to go there and pick it up like you would any other car, that could be quite an interesting experience. Now, interestingly, there was an Autocar article about this today, and you may have seen it. If not, there's a link in the description. And it says that a handful of changes will need to be made for it to come over to the UK. Converting the speedo to miles per hour and calibrating it properly, and those kind of things, which obviously you'd expect, setting the headlights up for left-hand traffic and all that. That's boring stuff. But interestingly, it also says it needs to be fitted with a Type 2 connector. In France, it just has a standard domestic plug. And I expected the UK version to just have a 3-pin plug, a bit like the Renault Twizy does. But it says it's a requirement. Now, I don't know. I don't actually know for a fact that an EV is required to use Type 2 for charging. So it'd be very interesting to know if that is actually the case. And obviously, if the Ami does come here with a Type 2 connector, that will be much better because you'll actually be able to charge it at public chargers as well as on home chargers if you've already got one. And I think launching a new EV with just a 3-pin plug is a bit short-sighted and doesn't really gel with the fact that we're moving towards people having home chargers that are Type 2 and Type 2 posts being common in supermarket car parks and all that kind of thing. So hopefully that is true. But I'd really, if you know that there's a regulation that means that is the case, I'd really welcome your input in the comments because I'd like I didn't know that, and it'd be really interesting to hear about that. So it's official. I've placed a deposit on a Citroen Ami, and hopefully I'll be able to bring you some updates as we get closer to that launch date in 2022. And as you can see, here is the proof of my reservation. I'm not just bluffing, I've actually done it. I've actually parted with the £250, and hopefully that means I have my place in the queue. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think I'm absolutely mad? Are you looking forward to me holding you up doing 28 miles per hour? Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.